All right, good morning, everybody. Everybody here knows me. Mark Merrion, HVAC service for the group. To talk today probably about efficiency and people panicking again. It's kind of like I don't know, it's just starting all over again. Electric rates are extremely high. Oil delivery, customer home oil is over $6 a gallon. Propane, last time I purchased propane was $4.19 a gallon, which comes out to be very compatible to the oil because you only get 88,000 BTUs of heat from a gallon of propane. A gallon of oil, you get 140,000 BTUs. So right now people are really shopping efficiencies, and what we're seeing with the higher efficiency equipment, obviously, there's a lot more maintenance people aren't used to doing that needs to get done. These units, because they are more efficient, they have thinner heat exchangers to absorb the heat faster. They're just not lasting as long. So what really needs to be happening, we really have to weigh out your issues. Do you really go for the higher efficiency equipment where you're going to be buying a new unit in 10, 12 years, or are you going to be buying the equipment that's not as efficient and it's going to last longer, so you're not paying for installation, but you're paying more on your utilities every month. Electric in a lot of the state has gone up 22%, I believe, I think.
It's went up a little over 20. Yeah.
Okay, a little over 20%. When you start doing them calculations compared to where we used to be by the federal minimum efficiencies for air conditioners and heat pumps, it almost makes you have to pay for these new units. Like I said, they're not going to last as long, but you're breaking even now, where what you pay for on your equipment for what you save compared to how more readily it's going to have to be replaced. At that point, it's about the same.
You're not saving any money by reducing your energy costs, but
No.
increasing your maintenance. And
Correct. You're increasing your maintenance that you have to do. As I was speaking a little earlier in a conversation, one thing that you also got to add into this calculation that a lot of people don't, is you got to remember you're going to have to take a time off from work also to have a technician come on out to your place. So now you're taking some time off from work. Add that into your calculation. Where do you really save? There is a savings. There is. But the unit's going to have to be replaced more often. You're taking time off from work. There's maintenance that has to get done. So it's almost a coin flip. We're progressing from where we were. It was $3,000-$4,000 more for the equipment, and it was taking 10, 12 years to see a payback, and the equipment was 12 years and you save nothing. Now we're seeing a faster payback, but there's still.
Do you have those types of conversations with homeowners to determine which unit is good?
Absolutely. One of the biggest things that everybody is pushing right now is tankless water heaters. Tankless water heaters, we have a version that we use as a tankless boiler that also can do your domestic water, your water that you use for drinking and cooking and all that kind of stuff. The theory behind them is great. Life expectancy is 12 to 15 years if you can get that out of them, if they're maintained. If you don't maintain them, they're done in 4 to 5 years. The heat exchangers get clogged, just throw them away. New heat exchangers. They're running on average, when we price out what we call a combi boiler, I'm pricing them out $14,000, $15,000, $16,000. Other guys are close to 20. We're a little less, we have less overhead. Standard boiler, you're looking nowadays $9,500, maybe $10,000. Standard boiler is going to.
So the hot water component of it's like $4,000 or $5,000.
Correct. You also, because they make water so fast, they have to have such a, for layman's terms, such a big fire in that box. I mean, it's a little box, but it's such a high intensity fire. You normally then have to increase the gas line size. Sometimes you have to get, with the gas meters, sometimes the meters need to be replaced from the PSE&G because the meters aren't big enough to allow so much gas to be coming on at once to heat that. Now, they're not maintaining, they're not doing it, so there is an energy savings, but it just needs such a big fire because you have to have instant hot water. It doesn't have time to recover. And there's not a standby tank, so it has to make water instantly. One other thing with them, people don't understand, it's a 3 to 4 second delay before they actually get the hot water. Now, if you have your bathroom on the other side of the house, or your kitchen on the other side of the house, you're already running your water to wait till you get hot water at that tap. The pipes are cold, everything's cold, all that cold water's got to run through the pipes. But now you're adding another 3 or 4 seconds. So it's just more of a longer delay. There are pumps we can put in, recirculation pumps, but now that hot water stays on that pipe the whole time, running in a circulation mode, which is going to cost you money where you're not going to be saving. Chris?
You're mentioning the maintenance. What type of maintenance are you talking about? Are you talking about like regular, like check-in kind of stuff? Or no, heavy lift? Okay.
All these combi boilers, when they're installed properly, they have what's called a shut-off manifold. That manifold you close off and you actually run muriatic acid through this water heater and through your domestic boiler side of it to eat away the minerals. Once you run that for 5-10 minutes, then you have to flush it for 5 or 10 minutes. So you basically have a pump sitting on the ground and a bucket of muriatic acid flushing all this stuff on out. Once it's neutralized with baking soda and stuff like that, it's pretty, and then you flush it for 10 minutes. So it's not as bad as what people think it is. I mean, it's flushed pretty good. And that thing holds 2 quarts of water. So by flushing that thing out into the buckets, if there's anything left, there's gonna always be something left, but it's so minuscule. The problem with that is, that's not a $99 maintenance.
No.
Now we're looking at a $350. Some guys I hear are getting $450. It should be done every year. Most manufacturers are going to the 2-year because they realize if somebody tells you every year you're spending $400 to maintain your water heater that you're saving $90 a year on, it's stupid.
And we're talking about boilers, not the hot air, not the hot water.
This is both, because
I've heard every 6 months.
I can't push that unless you've got absolutely horrible water. At that point, you better give a water softening company or a water purification, I should say softening water purification company, have them out because you got more problems than that. But yeah, it needs.
I've had customers that have water issues that have eaten away at stuff too.
I mean, we see it all the time. There's a whole section out by Trenton State College. There used to be all on wells out there. Every time you go into their house, there's pinholes all throughout the pipe. Bordentown is known for having horrible water. There's one of the people in this room who's got pinholes through their copper that I've been out there and had to do a couple repairs already because of the pinholes just eating through the copper. So once again, is it bad copper? It's the combination of everything. They used to put chemicals in the water from the water filtration plants to coat the inside of these things. They found out that stuff is, so it was coating the inside of your body pretty good. So they stopped doing that, and now pipes are leaking all over the place. So,
Bordentown?
yeah, in Bordentown.
It's been awful.
Yeah.
Bordentown's terrible.
When your copper pipes over top of in the furnace room that were, so.
That's from the water.
Oh yeah.
Can you smell the chemicals in the water? No, there's no way to detect it except
Have it tested. And that's another thing I'm learning. I wanted to have my water tested, and I really should have it done. Basic water testing for normal stuff. Ralph would probably know better than I, but I've been trying to look into it. It seems like a basic water test is like $400. Okay, that's fine. A comprehensive test, all of a sudden the price jumps to $1,100, $1,200. And then if you really want to have the full spectrum test, what you should have done, I just got a price. It was 23 and change, but that tested 120 different parameters.
And all that does is give you the data. And you need
Correct. Then you have to do something to correct the issue. So I'm kind of burying my head in the sand at my house. I think my well was, the well tests were, I'm not going to say faked, but there's a couple things you could do to change your readings temporarily.
Please come to my house, I'll give you some
So,
more.
so that just gets you the approval, but then you still got to deal with whatever the downsides
Yes.
are to
Correct.
the water. So
Correct.
I mean,
Correct.
you as the homeowner don't want it to be
Well,
approved.
the bacteria and everything, what a lot of people will do, they will take the well cap off, they'll dump bleach, you run a hose from post pressure tank, and you run that back into the top of the well, and you recirculate that for about 4 or 5 hours. Then you let that bleach solution sit there, minimum of 24 hours. Then you flush your well for like 5 or 6 hours, and
No bacteria.
your bacteria, everything, your iron, and iron's really not iron from what I understand. It's a bacteria that grows off of the iron. That's why everything turns. So my well was great for probably almost 8-9 months. And then we started seeing the orange and everything else. So I think my well, they bleached it before they did a test. But they say the iron's not going to kill you, but I think I have other things.
So who would do the bleaching? The seller?
The seller, absolutely.
Just to say, man, old school-
Correct. And I'm not going to generalize, but a lot of the real estate agents out in my area who
Do that.
exactly ethical real estate aren't going to do it, but out in the boonies, it kind of.
Can't break it.
Like I said, is it killing me? No, it's iron. But I
But our water smells every now and again, so he has to change filters for that.
so like I said, it is what it is.
Is that
But
well water or?
Yes.
that's well water. But now getting back on this subject, we're talking about the minerals and everything in the combi boilers, the tankless. So yes, they do save you money on utilities, but you're normally spending it somewhere else, either on reinstallation, 10 to 12 years instead of 30 years. You're having a lot more maintenance that needs to get done. Now, I personally believe even a cast iron boiler should have maintenance done every year. But you're not having a $400 maintenance every 2 years. You're having a $169 maintenance. What? All right, $179 maintenance done every year, which also gives you a maintenance agreement. And one thing else we do, different when we do in our boiler maintenance, any part that we change, we offer a lifetime warranty on our parts. You have your maintenance done. I put a $300 control in. I will warranty that forever as long as you have your maintenance done. So that's something I don't know anybody else around here is doing. I don't think they have the cajoons to do it. I do. And
As your feel, I know maybe a couple years ago you would say that, is it better to be more efficient? Are you leaning more towards the more efficient units?
I'm getting there. Maybe because my competition is pushing them more, and I don't want to say I'm sick and tired of trying to go against the grain, but these people are sold on these high efficiency units, and at this point, I'm not going to argue over it because it's not going to hurt them.
Yeah.
Now, before, if they were going to spend $5,000-$6,000 more, and they're only going to save $2,000 over that 15 years, they're going to get hurt. It's costing them more money at that point. Now, like I said, the efficiencies have climbed. The utility, the biggest thing is the efficiencies have climbed, but the biggest thing now is we're talking about the utility prices are just going insane, which that's what's kind of driving this whole thing. Like I said, at oil, it's over $6 a gallon. My oil customers that I have, can we convert? Can we convert? I want to convert to gas. Then they get the price of converting the gas, and I say, over the average, it's only cost it's now about 5% of the time it's cost more to heat with oil than it is with gas.
You also have to consider the sort of time value of money and said, oh, okay, over time, but what could you do with that money if you put it somewhere else?
I've always said that, yes, you're going to save money on the utilities, on the higher efficiency equipment, but if you took that extra $4,000 or $5,000, just put it in a basic stock or savings, getting 4% on it, now that 10 years just became 15 years. So where do you draw the line?
You don't want to complicate it so much that they're confused and they can't make a decision, but you don't want to talk them out of something they think is right.
Exactly. Like I said, years ago, I would talk somebody out of the high efficiency equipment. There's more links into the chain, that something's going to break. You're going to have downtime. You're going to require a lot more maintenance. Everything's going to be required more. Now, utilities are so much higher. Efficiencies are we have furnaces now, which unheard of, 98% efficient. That's what I have in my home. I have 98% efficient gas furnaces. Back 10 years ago, 15 years ago, we had 83% efficient. So we're really, 20% more efficient. That at the prices of what these utilities are today. And here's another one we're having.
My 85 or whatever it is percent efficient, I have maintenance once in a while. The maintenance costs are very little. It doesn't seem to break. Thank God. It's lasted us 12, 15 years. Yeah, really. Well, you know what I mean? So, and it seems to be humming along and everything's
But I
fine.
think that things were made better back then, weren't they? We've never had anything change, honestly, except from 1978 to how it was built.
We
Let me ask Mark.
one more quick before I forget. One of the other thing that's really becoming, I'm going to say a change, and it's been snowballing a lot more than what I've been seeing before. A lot of landlords now are deciding to go with the higher efficiency equipment. They're realizing, we just had one not too long ago, went out, condo in Plainsboro, they had a $900 electric bill. Well, the landlord is like, my tenant can't afford to pay me my rent on time because they're paying such high utility bills.
Absolutely.
So landlords now are starting to, hey, let me put a couple extra $1,000 in this equipment and let the bills be a little bit lower for my tenant. So things are starting to, did I see this before? Yes, it was rare. Am I seeing it more? Yeah. Is it all the time? No. But we're starting to see landlords open their eyes.
Forces that make people change. I don't care about your electric bill. Now, hey, if you're moving out, now I do care about your
And I have a landlord that I used to deal with all the time. Had 53 rental properties between Bordentown and New Egypt. Water heater would go bad. Oil fire water heater. At the time they were like $2,800. You know what? It's bad. I'm putting an electric water heater in. Let them pay for electric. I don't care. That's on them. Well, we went from something that was costing maybe $120 a year to heat with oil on your water heater to $800, $900, $1,200 a year to heat hot water with electric because it's so inefficient. I'm sure right about now he's probably kicking himself in the backside because these people are getting their electric bill and saying, do I have the lights turned on or do I pay my rent? So,
Or they're forcing rent prices way down
That's what he's doing. His rent prices are cheaper than most people because
because they can't afford it.
So, and I've had, when I started in business, rental properties, forced air only, whatever. Now, a lot of landlords are, you know what, can we put AC in this place? Because compared to all my other places that I'm being compared to, they got central air. They're getting $300 more a month than what I'm getting. So landlords are, I'm not going to say are all waking up, but some of them are starting to say, hey, times are changing. I got to keep up with the Joneses. And it's getting a little, and they don't put the best of the stuff in, except for this one I'm doing tomorrow. I can't believe this guy's doing what he's doing, but it's like the best system out in the market, and he's putting into a rental property. So, but he wants to keep his tenants' utilities low so he can be paid on the first of the month. So, as long as he pays me tomorrow afternoon, I don't care. Sorry, Steve.
Sorry, what's nice about the maintenance contracts are they're transferable. So we have one today getting it done on her home that's up for sale and her new home. But I always tell the customer, make sure that you tell your buyers that contract is transferable to them. And if they call us and say, hey, I'm the new owner, we will amend everything to their name. It's a nice selling feature.
It is a nice selling feature, but it got a funny story. Had a customer in Lawrenceville. We did that. She says, "Oh, I'm going to renew my contract for the new people." Blah, blah, blah. I said, "It could be transferred to the new people." They moved local. We seen them. I said, "Never seen them." She goes, "I wouldn't even tell them about the." We got into such a match before closing. She goes, "They ain't getting a damn thing from me." But it was like, oh my God. So, I mean, we try to make it work, but sometimes once you start dealing with numbers and people start, it's $10 more. And once it comes to over like $10 or something, people they don't give an inch. So, it's kind of funny.
Are those 98% efficiency built to break like the cheaper ones, where you say they're making them cheaper? Are they still going to break? It's not like you're getting a real.
I'm not going to say they're going to break because they do have a lot of quality stuff in them. But in order to heat up faster, the metals are thinner. It's supposed to be a better quality metal. There's just, is it going to break sooner? Yes. I can't see how it's not going to. Metal can only take so much stress back and forth before it finally goes. There's so many electronic parts. Something's got to go. I've always said the weakest link in the chain is the one that's going to break. If you have 3 links, the odds of something breaking isn't that great. When you have 300 different links, something's going to go. Example of my old home, I had a Lennox signature line furnace. Most furnaces will throw me 5 different codes. And tell me this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, boom. You look, after it says what's bad, you test it to make sure that's what's bad, you replace the part and you're done. That furnace had 265 different codes. It would tell me that unexpected length of run time, and I would get an error, and I'd see it on my phone. I'm like, what the heck? And then I find out that my wife and kids propped the door open, bringing groceries in, so the furnace ran more than what it expected to run. So it thought it was having an error, but no, it was the front door was open for a while. So yes, they're cool as heck. They'll tell you everything, but sometimes it's just overkill.
Is there a warranty on this new stuff that lasts long enough to cover?
There's a 10-year warranty.
It's not enough.
And the 10-year warranty is only as good as if you do your maintenance, just like your automobiles, and they're getting a lot more strict than what they used to be. All the manufacturers have a 5-year warranty. If you register the product so they can get you on their mailing list and sell your name and make a couple extra dollars, they'll move you to a 10-year warranty. All well and great. Lately, it's been, we need proof of maintenance When the service has been done, just like your car, you drive your little Lincoln Cadillac, you drive around, you got a great car, 10-year warranty, 50,000 miles, your engine blows up, and no, you didn't change your oil. Bye-bye, we're not fixing it for you. Same thing with these manufacturers. I'm pretty good with Lennox, that I'll go in, I'll scan, we have barcodes on all the equipment. Being a dealer, it's pretty much pushed through. I've had other manufacturers, they've actually went, after I submitted information, they go through a service to look up the tax records to make sure it's still the same homeowner. Because if the tax person changed, you don't have a warranty.
The warranty doesn't transfer.
No. So, I mean, and that's Bassars, which is a European English boiler manufacturer. They are one of the top of the line. Great warranties on everything, but they dot their I's, they cross their T's. When you install one of their boilers, you have to do what they call provision the boiler. You have to do a water test, you have to do this, you have to do all kinds of, you have to do a full report. It gets sent into them. If that's not done,
No warranty.
bye-bye.
And also, when you have a homeowner that's selling and the buyer is requiring them to replace the equipment, the buyer doesn't realize that the seller is replacing it. The buyer no longer has a warranty.
Yeah.
It's the seller who has the warranty.
Lennox, we had a bulletin about Lennox. They said within 90 days they'll transfer. A lot of the manufacturers don't, which is a very good point. The other good point that I constantly hear, and customer I was at yesterday, I'm selling my place as is. I'm not replacing that boiler. Okay, not a problem. They're going to have their home inspector come on in, and their home inspector is going to say, okay, that boiler is 30 years old. It needs replacement. Boom, boom, boom. At that point, home inspectors aren't supposed to give a price, but a lot of them give a ballpark or verbal so they can stay out of the legal troubles. But the buyer is going to have some company come on out and give a price. And they're going to say, well, how much is the Ferrari? Sure. Oh, well, now we want to negotiate off of that as-is price. And they're going to negotiate off of Ferrari prices instead of a Chevy price. So normally I tell people, you're almost foolish to leave that old stuff there. Put in something middle of the road or something even entry level, because at that point that home inspector can't say a damn thing about it. It is a 1-year-old furnace. It's a 1-year-old air conditioning, and I believe that's the second or third thing down in the corner of the HUD sheet. Roof is number one of importance, and I believe the HUD sheet, or that whatever is the fact sheet, I believe that it goes, the roof is the most, structure, roof, HVAC equipment. I believe it's in the fact of what the buyer's most important mental things is. So we're up on the top of the priority of what's important to a homeowner. And like I said, once that age is put in there, what can a home inspector say? Oh, well, it's not that most efficient, but it's brand new. It's 3 years old.
Checks the box.
So it's over and done with. It nips it in the bud before it becomes
So that's
something
the
very...
advantage to the seller. The buyer
Correct.
would love to say everything needs to replace, and I want to take that off the top.
Correct.
And then you get all the warranties when you replace it.
And that's a game at real estate, and we get into the middle of that a lot of the times. It becomes the, I want this, I want that. 3 years ago, sellers were saying, oh, you want a new heater? Go pound sand. Now we're coming back to that neutral area where we might do it, we might not do it. Back 10 years ago, oh, you want me to repaint around to trim it because oh, we'll do it. What else do you want us to do? You know, we go in these swings, and it all depends on, I guess you can probably say, how much the market is going to deal with and how much inventory there is. So, anyway, that's enough from me.